I lent this book to LaRouche. He said he was hoping to use it to inspire beatific vision. I hoped he might use it to create the Minotaur, to partner with Pinot's paintings, A Man in the Bull. Well, I'm working on something else. I hope I might be able to share it with the world, maybe in a couple of days.
That card you showed me earlier, it's only 50 kilometers outside Paris.
It's just got a few words scribbled on it. Thanks for the loan. The channeling, unmitigated triumph. Come Tuesday?
Well, I'm very willing to pay for breakfast for him should he arrive, but I don't think he's going to, is he?
Do we try to find him? Has he fallen afoul of these mystic what-have-yous? Well, let's go to his house. Probably he's...
Yes, maybe he overslept.
You just see a messy artist's little garret.
I have a feeling he will have gone to Bathsheba, or she will have come here to take him away.
Yes, I could safely say that none of us have ever done this in this game before.
Stuck our hands blind into a box.
But hang on, what's in the box?
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 Oh, I feel sick.
It's a newborn baby.
No.
Apparently covered in many, many different colours of oil paint.
I pull it apart and say, it is paint all the way through.
That's just anti-roll for my character.
They are using artists, destroying them in the process, and possibly Clovis is next.
And I start smearing the blood from my nose into the paint, and I start just attacking the canvas.
The blood is coming quite freely from your nose now, and your head is pounding.
I feel like our best chances of both confronting who we need to confront and maybe finding Clovis is to go to Thoiry, or however you say it.
The Apocalypse Players present A Message of Art by Matt Sanderson. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario from the Nameless Horrors collection, with Joseph Chance as Jane Harnsworth-Wright, art dealer. Danann McAleer as Clovis Hérbert, classical painter. Dominic Allen as Donatien Benoit, art critic. And returning special guest Jessica Temple as Edwina Alexander, dilettante. The title music is by Julie Abbey, and your keeper of arcane lore is Dan Wheeler. Part 11, Scene 1, The Revelation, Gaston Bussière. How long does it take a carriage? How long does it take a horse to draw a carriage? 58 kilometres, 36 miles. How fast does a carriage go? 10 miles an hour?
It's a question that Dungeons & Dragons players have been asking for many years, Dan, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of very strong opinions about that.
I reckon a carriage, even at a comfortable pace, would go at least 10 miles an hour, probably more like 20. So I think you can be there in a couple of hours.
Right. How's Jane doing all this time? Because that's a long time for someone who's clearly losing their marbles to, you know.
She's eating cheese and biscuits, most of it.
I think as the carriage sort of makes its way to Thoiry, and
the internet suggests 30 miles would take about 4 hours.
Really? Okay.
But that's just someone's guess.
I feel like you could walk it in that, but anyway. But it's more comfortable to be in a carriage, I guess.
Yeah.
You got to rest the horses, remember? Or change them quite regularly.
36 miles. That's like a marathon and a bit. I ran the marathon, and this is me, in under 4 hours. So
you're running. A human running is probably about the speed of a horse, isn't it?
Maybe. Okay. Well, let's say it takes 4 hours. Anyway, so it's a long journey, and you don't speak much on the way, I think, because you're all still processing what you've just gone through, unless you want to be making plans. But
no.
Okay, cool, good. Jane, I think your headache is sort of receded a little bit, but every time it comes back, it's stronger than the time before. Your nose has stopped bleeding for now, but you're aware that it seems to come on quite strongly when you exert yourself.
Have I had any chance to change?
If you want to have had a chance to change, then let's say you took the carriage past your residence and you managed to change and quickly refresh your face so you don't look a mess.
I mean, I don't look normal, but I think I
No, but you're not covered in blood and oil paint.
yeah. It's the best job.
Yeah, and the other two, I think you've managed to get most of the paint off your hands, and that was the worst of it. Anyway, your carriage moves through Versailles into Thoiry, which is a small town surrounded by woodland and lakes. And at the end of a long sort of dirt track next to a very picturesque lake is a cabin. I mean, a cabin isn't really quite the right word for it. It's quite a grand cabin, but it's clearly not someone's permanent residence. It's a country retreat. As you pass the lake, could you all give me a spot hidden roll?
Yes, that's a pass for me.
Big old fail for me.
I'm not sure if I want to pass it, but...
Big old fail for me as well, actually.
Is it, how close to a hard is it?
2 away from the hard. Do I want to look more closely by spending 2 luck?
Probably.
I'm going to spend that 2, putting me down to... I'll do that in a second, but yeah. Yeah, so a hard success on the luck. I think I'm doing quite a lot of looking out of the window.
As the carriage sort of carries on down the dirt track towards the cabin, as you pass the lake, sort of just, yeah, like you say, just looking out the window, you're aware of the surface of the lake being momentarily disturbed by something moving in a way that doesn't look like wind whipping up waves. It's more of a sort of, like a wave that suddenly appears in the centre, like a bulge, if you like, and then sort of subsides.
Like a large fish?
As if something's moving up and down. Yeah, maybe like a large fish. Maybe you tell yourself that. It's quite subtle, but you're aware of something moving under.
Is it larger than a fish, Dan? Is that what you're saying? It's larger than a fish?
It's definitely larger than a fish, yeah.
I think it's the first time I've spoken, and I say, did you see that?
See what, Jane?
What was it?
Out there in the lake, something moved. It humped, backed, like a... well, bigger than a carp. Is that the sort of lake one would keep? I suppose they're a very large carp.
Was it moving?
Oh, God. Now I'm beginning to doubt everything. I swear that's what I saw. I swear it.
And the carriage continues and pulls up outside the cabin. Do you tell the driver to wait, or...?
I think it would be sensible to, maybe. I feel like I produce a wad of notes out of the other side of my boobs, you know? I had the card on one side, money the other. And I sort of say, Monsieur, I beg of you, using my charm, haha. I beg of you, and I look him deep in the eyes and I sort of turn it on for a second and I say, no matter what you hear, don't leave until we are sat back in this carriage with you. Do you understand? And I sort of hand him the notes and I sort of squeeze his hand as I say this.
What's your credit rating? Just to see how big of a wad of notes that is.
50?
Oh, give me a credit rating roll. Sounds pretty good to me.
6, baby!
What is this app? Well, basically, he seems a bit alarmed by your suggestion that whatever he hears, he should wait. But I think he counts the notes and nods and looks at you, and you give him the impression that there's more where that's coming from. And as you get out, he sort of quietly pulls the carriage and the horses kind of round the side of the cabin.
Yeah.
And gets out and starts sort of gives the horses something to eat. You get the impression he will be waiting for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think I can trust him.
Yeah. And as you approach the cabin, the front door is closed.
Might I suggest that to Benoit, while you're going through that transaction with our carriage driver, does he have a name?
Yes, he does. Artoinier.
Artoinier. I just lightly touch Donatien on the forearm, and I say, I must look at that lake just quickly, and I take one step towards the lake. I'm still, within grabbing distance of Donatien, but...
Well, I think I escort you because I'm slightly worried after the whole paint baby fiasco that you might be mad.
Yeah.
So I think I let you walk ahead, but I'm sort of stay close in case...
And seeing lights moving,
In case you jump in the lake.
But I'm just gonna... Is there like a kind of rowboat, a little jetty, a small painting easel, two sets of... a set of boots smoking gently?
No, but as you approach the lake, you can be sure that you can see movement from the middle of the lake, as if something's sort of rising up and down in the centre.
A hidden island what you could swim out to or something, or row out to, and it's one of those sort of things that slightly sinks but is sort of basically floating. I wonder if there could be something like that.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. It does. It's not like a rhythmic movement. It's more of a...
There, do you see it?
No.
I think when it's pointed out to you, you do see it.
What?
I'm curious. And it's not a boating lake then? It's just a... And how big are we talking? Is it like a large pond, or is it a couple of kilometres in...
No. It's a very large pond, an ornamental lake, let's say. But the whole place is quite... It's not manicured, this garden.
It's rustic styled, but
It's rustic style, yeah. Yeah, arts and crafts.
Romantic.
Romantic, that's the word. How very 19th century. Don't they know that we're in the 90s now? Things can only get better, I say.
That's why I'm wearing these big trousers.
Yes. Well, I suppose we must approach the house. And I sort of cast a nervous glance back over my shoulder, but then to the house we go.
At the lake again. Yeah. Have you got any natural world or anything like that?
No, it's not my forte.
What would the base in natural world be?
5%?
This isn't particularly important. It's just because you're curious. I think the base is 10, actually.
10, yeah.
Yeah, I'll rack my brains. She was well educated. No, that's a 36. Not bad, but no cigar.
No. So your best guess is that it's maybe a large bit of wood, like a huge branch or something that's maybe just being sort of buffeted by a current that you can't see.
Yeah.
It looks like a bit of wood, probably. And so you all approach the front door.
Just a large bit of wood. Or a body. What?
Very large body.
What are you talking about, Jane?
Perhaps it's just a branch. Will you do the honours? And I put my arm through Edwina's. She's taller than me.
Obviously, long limbs.
I wonder if we'd be better off not knocking. Having a quick look through the windows.
Yes, maybe, and maybe there's a back door, sort of, I think going in through the front will, if anyone's in, will cause too much of a stir.
We don't have much of an excuse to be here, after all.
No. And I sort of am encouragingly sort of patting Jane's hand, whose, arm or whatever, it's through my arm. And I'm sort of saying, now, let's not think of the past. Just put one foot in front of the other and we'll face things as they come. All right? Because I feel like you need a bit of bolstering before we sort of enter this property.
Quite so.
So no more talk of logs or babies or being an artist. All right?
Shall we all go together, or two round one side and one round the other?
Yes. I look to Edwina to see if she's comfortable with that idea.
And I think I am. I feel like I can bolster Jane if me and her stick together, and we're already linked. So I say, good idea. And I also want to sort of not patronize Jane, but to sort of go, yes, like you speak to a child, like, yes, what a really lovely, good idea. That kind of vibe. So I'm sort of going, yes, Jane, why don't me and you go around to the back and...
I'll meet you around the other side. Maybe we should have a signal and for danger. And I sort of put my
hands over my mouth and I sort of go like some sort of really bad impression of a raven or something like that.
Yes, very good. You have quite the talent.
She lied.
Très bien.
Absolute lies.
Can I hear it one more time?
Yeah, of course. It's meant to be bad, all right? Like that.
It's very good. I almost want to hear it. I almost want to hear it again.
She lied again.
But I'm sure we don't have time. And perhaps we could say that the only reason we're here is because you had your vision. You saw this place. What about that? If anyone confronts us and says, "What on earth are you doing here? How did you know?" We could just say, "You had a vision."
Yes, that's a good idea, Jane. Yes, I had a vision. So part of it is true, but I've never seen this place before in my life. Now look, we're wasting time. Benoit, you go around the other side. Jane, come with me. And we sort of... What time of year is it?
Oh, God.
Is it like May?
Am I supposed to keep a note of everything?
Sorry.
I think it's April-ish. Let me check.
I got that impression. I don't know why I got that impression.
Must have been the way I was describing the weather.
Yeah. It's that wonderful picture you...
No, it's good. I was just making sure there wasn't crunchy leaves on the floor that would be noisy, but I guess there isn't. There's
10th of April. This is 11th of April.
Okay, great. So I take Jane, and I sort of nod to Danann, and we start our walking our way around sort of the left side of the property.
I allow Miss Alexander to get to have the impression that she's taking me somewhere.
Nice. So Danann is at the front door, and Edwina and Jane are moving around the back.
Oh, I'm walking around the other side, yeah, so we're going...
So I thought we were splitting at the front door.
Yeah.
We were going around the left to meet at the back, and Benoit's going to meet at the back.
Oh, you're both going round to the back?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Checking out either side of the house and maybe looking into some windows on our way, seeing if anyone is, in.
Can I see any of the kolkhozes off to the west? Are they...
No, unfortunately, you can't quite make them out. So, Benoit, as you move round you're going round to the right, is it?
Yeah, whichever way they're not going.
Fine. You sort of try and look in as many windows as you can, and it seems to you that this is a very sort of basic sort of cabin with very few rooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very open plan, if you like. With maybe a couple of rooms downstairs and just possibly a bedroom upstairs. And as you move around, you look in the window and you think you're walking past an artist's studio, a sculptor's studio. You can see through the window some tools lying on the floor and some marble chippings. I don't know how you carve marble. I guess there must be chippings. And like a plinth in the middle of the room. I don't know like how closely you look or whether you just keep on moving around to the back door.
Oh, well, if it's art, I'll certainly sort of look closer. Like, presumably it's a sculpture that's being half formed out of the marble, right?
Yes.
So I'll try and get a sense of what they're trying to carve.
Well, yeah. So if you do go up and have a look in the window, you can see that there's like a plinth, and then actually not on the plinth, but sort of tucked away. You have to get right up to the window to see because it's kind of tucked away. You can see a marble sculpture that looks like the back of a bull. That perhaps this is the unfinished figure of the Minotaur that LaRouche was commissioned to create.
Yeah. I kind of want to... Me, the player, is trying to work out the symbolic connections. Yeah. I don't know if Minotaur is...
I mean, well, how long do you spend at the window? Do you just have a little quick glance and then go around the back, or do you spend a while sort of studying?
I think I probably get distracted by it, because it is my job, after all, to critique things.
Okay.
And so I think I get lost in the kind of trying to make the symbolic connections in my head and sort of approaching it like a critic, if that makes sense.
Okay, great. Well, you sort of spend a while staring in this window trying to make out. It's difficult to tell because you're looking at the back of the sculpture. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, so to clarify, I'm trying to understand the kind of, how have they interpreted the Minotaur here? What are they trying to say?
Yes. Yeah. The other two of you move around and you feel like you're moving around a sort of large lounge, large living area. And as you move around, would you like to give me a listen roll, both of you?
Very much so. Ooh, it's a 27 on a 40 for me.
Ooh, and a 36 on a 40 for me.
You both hear a little, like a clattering noise.
Did you hear that?
Is it like plates clattering or?
No, it's really hard to describe. It sounds almost like tiny hooves.
I was going to say, is it like 100 insectoid limbs moving at high speed?
Or like wooden shoes, perhaps, like tiny clogs or hooves or something, just clattering and off, and then away into.
Oh no!
What, like a goat?
Yeah, maybe like a goat.
Is it like 1,000 goats? Is it like 1,000 goats?
It's not 1,000. If you were to count it,
Or more disturbingly, is it more like a bipedal bull?
But if they were very small, or is it a bipedal bull? That's a good suggestion.
if you were to count it in goats, you would assume it would be approximately 1.
With its forelegs raised?
No. It sounds like if you're really thinking about it, it sounds like.
I don't need to think about it. That's fine. I've just heard it. That's fine.
It sounds more like hooves. It doesn't sound like a bipedal animal. It's a skittering.
Oh dear.
From inside the house, sorry, or outside?
From inside the house as you pass round.
Okay, so we're walking past the window then. We hear this noise and I sort of, shh, Jane. And I put I look into the house. Fuck it. I look into the house, but maybe I duck down so I'm not looking like my whole face isn't in the pane of the window. It's sort of up until my eyes, because obviously, and I sort of go up really slowly. And I've unlinked my arm from Jane's, but I am holding her hand because I feel like I want to keep contact with her in this moment. So yes, I look inside the house, Dan. That's what I do.
I let go of her hand and keep walking, but I'm looking at her.
Oh!
You look in the window and you can't, as hard as you look, you can't see anything. It appears the house is completely empty.
Of everything, of furniture, nothing.
Oh, no. Excuse me.
Oh.
It completely empty of no sign of life.
Right, thank you.
It's quite bare. It's like I say, it's clearly an artist's country residence. So there is enough for someone to be reasonably comfortable for a few days at a time, but it's not luxurious. It's not like Peladan's Paris apartment.
Right, okay.
But no, it has things in. It's lived in, but there's no movement, no sign of life from within.
Okay, well, that's frustrating, but I'm also quite relieved I'm not met with a sort of face on the other side of the window pane. So I just thought, oh damn, and I look back over to Jane, who's now walked, slightly ahead, more around the house than me.
Yes, I think she's nearly got to the back door now, I think.
Well, I'm going to go to the corner, at least, if there is such a thing as a corner, if we're going round the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to sort of run and Jane.
I put two fingers up and I point at her eyes, at my eyes, and then I make a fist with my hand and I bring my M16 up to my shoulder.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking on gas.
Yeah, baby. So and I do catch up with you. I feel like any time spent apart in this.
No, but I gesture to say that I'm looking round the corner, and I'll just look round the corner. But I'll wait for her. I am waiting for her.
Okay, yes. But maybe you're looking around the corner, I sort of just come up behind you. So you know that I'm behind you, but we're not linking arms, we're not touching. It's just, that I'm there behind you, sort of waiting for your go ahead or whatever you see. Great.
So you do both sort of have a look around the corner, and again, there's no sign of any life. It's very quiet, very still.
Nothing. There's nothing.
And you can see the back door from where you are as well. I'm going to go back to Dominic, I think.
I think we're going to be heading to the back door, though, aren't we?
Great.
Stealthily. I think we're going to stealth.
Yeah.
I'm going to stealth.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take that as read. Let's say you make it to the back door, and you find the back door closed and apparently locked. Dominic, you're looking through this window, sort of trying to work out what the symbolism of this this bull or this Minotaur is. And then you see it move. Just sort of pivot slightly.
No.
There's a lot of shaking of heads from my fellow players.
I don't fucking like this.
No, thank you.
Scene 2. The Minotaur. George Frederick Watts. And as you carry on looking, you sort of hear like a snort, like a bull's through the nostrils. And you see it turn round.
No.
And it meets your eyes.
Fucking hell.
And it appears to be alive.
A Minotaur.
And it is a Minotaur. It is a marble Minotaur. It's stunning. It's incredible. The art is spectacular. LaRouche is good, but this is better than anything else you've ever seen created by him.
Cock like a toddler's forearm.
And it's not aggressively, but deliberately, slowly starts making its way towards you. And could I have a sanity roll, please?
Oh, good.
This is the success in it. This is the fucking...
This is usually where it goes wrong for one of us.
This is it.
Would you believe it? I've rolled a 1.
No, again!
Oh, come on. What is going on?
Oh my god.
It's the second sand one. That's the second sand one. After my revelation, we're going to have camera dice, because this is exciting.
This is absolutely insane. Right, well, that is 1 point of sanity.
I think to justify that, I'm just... The little voice in my head that's telling me to run away, or that this is not right, that is screaming at me, is being completely drowned out by my passion for experiencing art. And I'm just completely taken with the form and the light. I'm trying not to think about the fact that it's moving and seems to be alive. I'm just enjoying its style and its composition and its construction.
Oh, it's Dostoevskian. I like it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And it is. It's remarkable.
Completely suppressing the panic that's going on deep within me. It's completely buried by my...
This is what your intellect deserved, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
All along.
How much sanity have you lost? Just 2 points, I think.
Yeah. This is my most sane character I've ever played.
But perhaps you're fixated with it as it makes its way closer to the window and sort of studies you through the glass, face to face with this huge, like, larger than life bull with a big ring through its nose, standing on 2 feet, kind of studying you. You observe a curious look in its eyes. It's not aggressive. It's curious. At the back door, what are Edwina and Jane up to?
It's locked. What should we do?
I'm slightly concerned. He's not made the sound, so I'm assuming he's okay, but where is Danassian?
Why don't you check on Danassian at the corner there? And I'll try and go in.
I'm so nervous. I don't like it. Yes, but remember, any sign of anything, make the sound.
Would you rather we stayed together?
No. I think we'll be all right. And I leave you there, and I go to sort of like this territory where it's sort of like I'm feeling my way along the wall.
Are there any windows at the back here? As I see her go ahead, is she heading towards a window?
Yeah, there's a couple of windows.
So maybe I'll
follow you, Edwina, and I'll point at the window and I'll try it. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
No. I was going to say maybe I either head straight for the corner to check round the corner, or I check in a window. But if you're going to check in a window,
well, maybe you're going to turn the tables on me. I like that. We're at the window. What do you do? I see you hesitating, and I hesitate. And I look at you quizzically, And I point at the window, but I don't say anything because now I'm nervous.
Have I looked in the window yet? I haven't yet on this side.
Well, you've looked at some windows. You passed your side of the house is the big living area. So you have looked in the windows as you pass. You've got to the door. So if you're moving further on, then there will be another window.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna glance in that window, and my guess is that I see this thing.
So if you glance in the window quickly, you see what looks like an empty sculptor's studio.
Right.
With some tools scattered around, some marble chippings, and like an empty plinth in the center of the room. That's what you see at a glance. Okay, so at a glance, there's nothing alarming about that. So I sort of leave you to maybe sort of, I do a sort of that kind of, gesture. I can't do it. The sort of like, no, it's all okay.
The flat hand across the throat.
The flat, that one, as in like, it's all good.
He's dead. He's dead.
The he's dead action.
No, you misinterpret me, no.
You drop the M16, you take the Glock out.
Yeah, and that's it.
Turn it on yourself.
Oh, into the mouth, turn it on yourself.
Do you give the 19th century equivalent of a thumbs up?
Yeah, a 19th century equivalent of thumbs up is very good. So I do that, and I then continue on to the corner. I feel like I don't need to look at any more windows. I want to peer around this corner. So I do.
So when you get to the corner, you see Donatien kind of face pressed right up against the glass.
I've got my hand against the window already, my mouth open. And I think as you turn, you see me holding my hand up against the glass, and then you see me move to try and open the window.
And that's exactly as I try and open the window that you've just left, Edwina.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you trying the door, or you're moving around the house as well?
I think we tried the door and it was locked, right? So I'd got to the window with her, but I'm going to try and open it. Any luck with opening a window? Or I don't know if Benoit may have the agency here, but if I could try and sort of putty sometimes gets loose in these old wooden.
Yeah, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so.
And like sometimes you can take out a pane of glass. It's quite rustic, so.
Yeah, I think.
This is a horrifying track. I love it, by the way. Great.
It's so awful.
Yeah, it's got such a cool name as well. It's called Creature Called Human by Dark Matter.
Ooh, I like it. Creature Called Human. Right.
So this window, yeah. How are you trying to get it loose? Was this a strength roll or a dex roll, or luck? You give me a luck if you like.
I think more of a dex. I think I'm trying to sort of wriggle it loose dexterously.
Great, perfect. Dex is good then.
I mean, to be honest, with her, they're both 50, so it's much of a muchness. But she wants to be as quiet as she can. I'm going to spend the luck on that. That's a 53, and I'm going to spend my 3 luck. They'll get you by increments. That's the problem. Down to 39.
So that's a pass, is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna wriggle one of these panes loose.
I think you give it a little jiggle. It's one of those sort of lead-lined little panels, like just sort of hand-sized, palm-sized panels, lead-lined, and you give it a little jiggle, and it has one of those arms that hooks over little notches.
Yeah.
That just sort of pops loose, and you can just open the window.
Perfect.
And as you open the window and stick your head in, or lift yourself up onto the ledge.
It still looks empty, right? The studio still looks empty.
Straight on, it looks empty.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm just thinking how big the bustle on my dress would be. I think I probably just opted for the skirts, didn't I? I think both Edwina and I have just opted for the skirts rather than the bustles.
I think almost certainly.
I think so. Like practical,
Yeah, so I think it's fine. So I think I hitch my skirt up and I climb up onto the windowsill. But I think I should wait, shouldn't I? Oh, it's like being in Alien suddenly, I feel. Like an enclosed space. Should I wait and see what Edwina's doing? I'm just desperate to not have my head explode.
Yeah.
So desperate. And I think in that moment I realize how mad I'm being, but I must make progress towards a better death than poor Pino.
An exploding head.
Yeah. And so I glance for a split second at her, and I see her looking around the corner, and she's frozen for a second. I think, okay, she's seen something, but I don't, and I'm good at reading her back. I go, "Quala fuck, let's get in there."
Quala fuck.
And I I go in.
So you hoist yourself up onto the window ledge and your head is now in the window and you look around and you now see this marble Minotaur, which was out of your view before, over to the left. And it's right up at the window, kind of, but you can see it breathing, like moving up and down, like a really good puppeteer. You know the way a really good puppeteer operates a puppet, and it has that slightly exaggerated breathing. You don't see any breath, but it has this motion like a living statue, and that's a sanity roll, obviously.
It's an 84. It's quite a significant fail. Not a fumble.
Would you like me to do it, or will you?
I think you should do that, Dan, because you, in your way, you and Matt have created this fucking monster.
That's 6 points of sanity, my friend.
Going to give you a D10.
Well, let's find out first. Intelligence roll.
Well, hang on, with 6. I've already lost 5. Oh, no, 12. I have to lose 12, don't I? God, I'm close. So 49. If I lost a 5th...
So you need 1 more point.
But I'm 1 away from a 5th, so it's just a potential bout of madness. So intelligence, I seem to recall, is one of her best. Yeah, it's her second best stat at 70. Yeah.
That's a shame, isn't it?
But I've been running quite high. Oh, but unfortunately I do fully understand. But of course I do, because it's a 54, not a hard, but it's enough of an understanding. Because I've been obsessing about this idea that I'm going to see something that, and the Minotaur is one of them. That's the bull was
the man and the bull,
part of this journey, and this is the composite of the man and the bull.
Did you just roll me a D10 or not yet?
Not yet, but I shall do that for you right now, dear man. That's a 7 on the bouts of madness, random generated.
Okay, and then roll me another one.
The number of rounds. That's a 5.
Okay, so for the next 5 rounds, you are going to be attempting to flee in panic.
Yes. Yes, I fucking am.
Significantly, even if it means taking the only vehicle and leaving everyone else behind.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
No, you bastard! No!
Do you want a moment to consider that while I go to the others, or do you want to lead on?
I have nothing to consider, but it's just all about whether I can act now, or you tell me when it's back to me.
Well, you are head in the window, legs out. Edwina, so you're confronted with Donatian's sort of face right up against the window, trying to open his own window.
Yeah.
Do you just observe?
Yeah, because something is really not fucking right. And actually what I might do, because I might have heard, I might just poke my head, sort of take a look back to see what dear old Jane's up to, and all I can see is her legs dangling out the fucking window. So there's that going on. There's Danann at the... something is inside there that I really don't want to see. So what do I do?
Well, are you sort of frozen?
Yeah, I think it's a not quite sure if it's fight or flight, but I'm incapable of deciding.
In which case, could you give me a listen roll, please?
Yes. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, that's definitely failed. Hold on. Yeah. No, that's a 90 on a 40. So no for me.
I think you have it's that fear where you have that.
Yeah, like the white noise.
Yeah, in your ears, like suddenly you can't hear a thing. It's like boom, boom, boom. You can hear your blood pumping.
But it's the fear of not knowing as well. But knowing something is really, really, really bad, but not seeing it is probably even worse. No, it's not even worse. But it's that, yeah, totally that. And my heart sort of thumping in my ears, and every part of my brain is telling me to move, but I can't.
Donatian, do you try to get this window open?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you want to give me do you want to try and force it with a strength roll, or wiggle it free like with a dex?
Let's do strength.
Okay.
Oh, yes. That's a hard success. 29 on a 60.
Okay, well, describe to me how you force it open.
I think it won't give at first. And then I lock eyes with the Minotaur, as if I'm borrowing its strength.
Yes.
And I need to touch it in that way, that weird sort of perverse urge people get in art galleries. And so I just... and I shove the window open, if it slides up or whatever, or pulls out, whichever it is.
Yeah. It sort of pulls free of its catch.
Maybe it was painted shut and the paint just cracks. Pull it out.
Perfect. And you're now in touching distance of this amazing sculpture.
Yeah, I lean forwards through the window and just touch its abs.
It feels as marble should feel. Cold, hard, slightly rough, but not rough like granite, just almost perfectly smooth.
Sort of abs I love to touch.
Oof.
But you feel it shift under your hand. You feel the way it moves. It's very much alive.
And I look up to it and I say, "What are you?"
And it just sort of snorts gently. And you feel like breath on your hand, but it should be hot breath. It's not. It's cold.
Oh.
Jane, tell me what you're doing.
I scrabble back out of the window, drop back down. I don't even cast a glance, and I sprint towards the carriage.
Great. And you arrive at the carriage, and our Tournier is sort of sat on the little foot mount thing, as you get into the carriage. Oh, madame.
Monsieur Artoigny, here, I have money. We have to get out now. Let's go.
The others?
No, I was tricked. I've been fooled. It's all wrong. Let's leave.
How much money do you give him?
Here, I have money, and I get my bag, and I get my purse, and I have my 60% credit rating.
It's a credit rating roll.
Ooh, and I've rolled a 36.
Okay, he's
Yeah, I'm happy about madness. So I take out a bunch of francs.
Yeah. You thrust a huge bag of francs at him, and he sort of takes a glance back towards the house.
They're not coming.
He says, very well.
The Minotaur has them now. We've got to escape.
If you say so. Get in, quickly.
Thank you.
And you get in, and he mounts up onto the front and takes one last glance back towards the house, and then sort of...
Does this have doors on both sides?
Yeah.
So I get in, and then I go out of the other door and climb up the step to him. And I go, I'd be much happier if I was up here with you, just in case.
He jumped. Very well.
Yeah.
I love the idea that he was too busy counting the francs to hear your comment about the Minotaur. It just...
She's probably not the first mad English woman that he's found.
Yeah.
And I keep looking over my shoulder, and I go, I think it might be very fast. We should leave.
So you're now sat up on the front of the carriage as he sort of, the horses, and you move away. And as you head down the dirt track, you see another carriage coming towards you. Jet black horses, plumes, and you recognize it absolutely as La Ruche's carriage. You recognize it as the carriage that pulled up at the party the other night. Edwina, what are you up to?
Oh, well, I'm still frozen, I think. And I haven't looked back at Jane anymore. The last I saw of her was her legs dangling out I hate this music.
Great, I'll turn it up.
No. So the thing I'm seeing is Danann, right? Sort of reach in and...
Yeah, I'm sort of leaning in through the window.
Leaning in. So...
You see my legs sticking out.
Yeah, everything, as much as I love the occult, guys, as much as I want answers, I also like my life. So this just feels icky sticky. What do I want to do, though? Because I'm also, quite sane. I'm not insane. I don't want to startle him either, so I'm not going to make the sound that I said. I feel like any noise will distract and put focus on me. I don't want any focus on me at all. I don't want to move, Dan. I don't like it.
Okay, give me another listen roll if you're not doing anything else.
Why don't you bloody listen if you're not doing anything else? Right. Oh, I got 50 on a 40. So no.
Your heart is still, your blood is still rushing in your ears.
Yeah.
And you can see, you're still looking at Donatien, and what you see is Donatien doing what?
Well, I'm still talking to this Minotaur, but it's not talking back. So I think I'd probably start climbing through the window.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So you climb knees up, and you're doing it quite slowly, gently. You're not doing anything to startle this creature.
Yeah. Not overly slow, but not rushing either.
So it backs up a little to make room for you. Edwina, you see Donatien climbing through the window.
Okay, so I think a part of me logically goes, okay, well, whatever it is going to be facing the window still. So maybe I sort of head back round, because humans are like that, aren't they? It's the curious, even if there's a car crash, you want to watch it. So I guess maybe I sort of come back round a little bit, and I sort of remember Jane. I look behind, and obviously she's gone. And so I go to the next available window on the back side of the house.
Mm-hmm. The one she was trying to climb through, basically.
The one she was trying to climb through, and maybe do a little peek. Just a little.
So if it affects anything, you obviously were aware of her rushing away. You could see that she's gone. I'm not sure whether she rushed past you or around the other way, but...
Okay, yeah, so... But I also think at this point, I mean, she's not a lost cause, but she's...
Fine. No, I don't want to, affect what you're doing, just reminding you. So you sort of stick your eyes over the window ledge.
Yeah, really slowly.
And you now, too, see this living sculpture, this Minotaur, sort of backing away from the window, and you can see Donatien climbing in. So could you please give me a sanity roll?
Oh, God. 86 on a 60.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no, I'm not. I've lost some sanity, so hold on. 86 on a 53. There you go.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make any difference. Shall I roll for you?
Yes, please.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
That's 8 points of sanity, so that is... That's you're definitely insane.
And so it turns.
And that was it. I mean, seeing the Minotaur is...
Yeah, let me find out what flavour of indefinitely insane you are.
I mean, you can come back. It might be a very short bout of insanity.
That's true, but it is definitely about.
There's no intelligence check. Second chance.
There's no intelligence check required because it's indefinite. So that's 7 plus that's 50. If you lost 15 points of sanity, so that's definitely over.
15 points of sanity!
It makes perfect sense, though, because she's primed and ready for an occult experience. So she doesn't hesitate in believing.
I'll roll for you if that's all right, Jess, to find out what flavour you've got. So, for one round, you're very lucky. For one round, you experience physical hysterics or an emotional outburst. You're incapacitated from laughing, crying, screaming, etc. for one round. But that round doesn't happen now, because what happens right now is Jane, you see this carriage sort of pull up to sort of like a stop. Both carriages slow down as they sort of face off each other. And you see LaRouche.
We have to keep going.
I cannot. The path is blocked. And there is no room to go round. It's a very narrow path. And you see Bathsheba and LaRouche slowly open the doors of the carriage and step out.
Right. Now, I don't have ride skill, which seems inappropriate given my level, but I suppose she wasn't really into riding. She was bookish. But I look at these reins and this pair of, I think it's 2 horses, isn't it? I think it's...
Yeah.
And I think I must be able to cut one free, but I don't see that. So then they're there in the way. How many horses have they got?
2 as well.
2 as well. God. I look around me wildly, and the lake is off to the left. I feel off to the left.
Yeah.
Can I still see that fucking weird bobbing? Anyway, it's not like that's...
You can, and as you look now, you're even more sure that it's made of wood, but it's not a branch. It's something much bigger, and it's sort of moving a bit more organically. like as if maybe it's something which has a life of its own. It's not just a dead branch.
Which gives me double impetus, so I think I get off and I start to try and weave my way through so that I can run. I just need to run away from this place. We've got to get out of here. We've got to go. The Minotaur's coming. You fools. Better to be lost in the maze.
LaRouche says, Jane Harnsworth-Wright. Well, how do you find yourself here? Welcome. Why don't you come and join us?
He's coming.
Who's coming?
It's coming.
Who?
Smooth as alabaster. Run.
Oh, you've seen my creation. But of course, it's not my finest creation, Jane.
And I just start to run.
Jane, come back. What, you just run down the dirt track?
Yeah. I've got the drop on them, so I'm going to make it. I've got to flee. I've got to run.
Yeah, give me a dex roll.
No, that's an 87. So, no.
Well, I'm gonna be opposed with LaRouche.
I'm staggering, I'm slipping.
He grabs you by the arm and says, Jane, there's no need for this. Why did you come in and sit down? You seem terribly worked up about something.
Yes, I'll come in and stay and sit down. Monsieur, back up your horses, I say to Antoine.
And he does, and LaRouche gently starts to lead you towards the house. Scene 3. Frenzy of Exultations. Podkowiński. Edwina, your physical outburst.
So yes, I've peered over the side and something in me clicks. And I sort of start with a... and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know why. Every part of me thinks she climbs in the window. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So she climbs in, and it's sort of a hysteria that is like the answer. This is the answer that she's been searching for this whole time, and she sort of starts to run towards this sculpture and almost put her arms up and touch it, and she's laughing and almost crying and maybe gets on her knees and starts saying, "Oh, thank you," almost like it's she's seen Jesus Christ. No, I can't say that. People are going to think I'm mental. I feel like she just starts taking her clothes off. She takes her hair out and she says, I'm not worthy. And just sort of...
Déshabillé.
Yeah. I mean, she's lost it. She's not quite pulling people's faces off, but she starts to take clothes off.
It's the natural conclusion of Edwina, I believe.
Thank you.
It's where we've been working towards.
Trajectory.
Isn't it? The nakedness. Yeah.
Okay. So you are on the floor, sort of on your knees, stripping your clothes off.
Yeah.
Before this Minotaur. And Donatien, you are sort of climbing in the window, seeing this. And the Minotaur is turning at this giggling, and it sort of suddenly starts moving a bit more skittishly. You've been very gentle and calm with it, and you sort of found this, Crocodile Dundee kind of calming sense with it. But this crazy giggling and throwing clothes about appears to have sort of startled it, and it starts sort of scraping its hooves on the floor a bit more aggressively. What do you do?
I say, Edwina, what are you doing? You're causing chaos.
I look at you. Sorry. No, everything about me wants to be like, I don't know why I want to scream like Judas at your face. I want to just sort of like, you've betrayed something. And I run at you and, well, maybe I sort of bite you or I'm
Ooh, nice.
Or I'm clawing at you. But something in you, I'm like, get away from God. And you are an evil spirit, Judas, the devil, whatever you are. And so I'm running at you and I'm clawing at you. I'm trying to bite you. And sorry, Dom, you're a lovely man. But Yeah, and I sort of, in my hysteria, I could sort of go, yes, from the start, I knew it was you. You stole the book. You made it impossible for us to make any kind of progress.
I'm going to try and hold her back.
Yeah.
When she says that, I say, Lavanya stole the book. What are you talking about? You're hysterical. And if she tries to bite me or like claw me, yeah, I'm going to punch her.
Well, I'm not sure you need to, because I think this act of frantic aggression really starts to work the Minotaur up. And as you run towards Donatian, who has obviously kind of made friends with the Minotaur, it turns to you and charges.
Oh, God.
Edwina! No, not Edwina! Oh.
Gored to death.
And I'm probably fully naked at this point. It's so humiliating.
Could you give me a dodge roll, I guess, unless you want to fight back? You see this Minotaur running at you.
Not humiliating at all. It'd be a very classical image of you being lifted up on the horns of this, gored to death.
Yeah. I was going to say, gored to death, it couldn't be more symbolist, could it?
Very classical nude. That's going to be fantastic.
What am I giving you, sorry?
A dodge roll. Well, unless you want to fight back, but I'm assuming you probably want to dodge an enormous marble Minotaur.
No, but also, like, I think it's God, so... Yeah, so I rolled a 45 on a 35, so no.
Well, you're lucky. The Minotaur somehow misses you and sort of, trundles past you and careens into the side of the building, and its marble horns sort of embed in the brickwork, and it shakes and it pulls its horns free as it does, like plaster and stone kind of fly across the room. And then it turns and it starts scraping its hoofs again, and it snorts again. And this music is weird. And I think your bout of hysterics is probably coming to an end. But I'm going to come back to Jane, who's being led into the house. You still are in this desire to flee.
So all I was going to say was that as I'm being led away, does he lead me past his carriage?
No. He leads you past your carriage.
Great. So, has my guy backed off a bit?
A little, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's difficult to make horses go backwards, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we've made a couple of extra feet, that's all I need.
Yes.
So I will, at the very last second, as he's taking me towards the house, I will try and break away from his handhold and dash for the carriage, with the intention of driving it out of here, through the other carriage.
Probably a dex roll?
Dex. That is a 34 on a 50.
I don't think it's going to be opposed, I guess. That's regular.
So we're regular and regular. He gets the advantage, right? Or do I as a dodge?
Well, I'm going to give you the advantage because you instigated it, because it's not quite a maneuver, is it? So yeah, you managed to break free of him.
So I will run to the carriage and say, "The Minotaur! It's coming! Give me the reins!" And I'll climb up and I'll try and take the reins off our driver.
Okay, I think he's startled, so you do manage to take the reins. But LaRouche yells, Jane, I have so much to show you.
Get out of here! All of you get out of here, or your souls will be lost. Your heads will explode.
So what do you try? You try and...
Yeah, I'll just try and charge the other horses to scare them, to do anything to get them, like ride round them through the tree or whatever.
Oh, messy. Okay.
Like, horrible. I don't care at this stage. I just got to get out of here.
Do you have any ride skill?
I have the base ride, which I believe is it 1 or is it 5? I think it might be 1.
The base ride is 5.
Mother was never interested in me learning to ride, I think to myself. As I whip these two horses into a frenzy. That's a 29. I'm in a bout of madness, so spending luck at this stage I think is probably illogical. I think her pure skill is not enough.
So you attempt to drive these horses past the carriage, but they sort of rear up and throw you back, and you don't really appear to be making much progress. And LaRouche again says, Jane, come down. You have nothing to fear. I have such wondrous things to show you, such pieces of art for your collection, Jane. For your exhibition.